And you're fired up, Daniel? Are we live?
We're live.
Okay, I'd like to call the Board of Commissioners meeting to order. Please ask everybody to rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Once again, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Board of Commissioners meeting, the last Board of Commissioners meeting for 2022. This is December 27th. Kelly, roll call, please.
Rose.
Present.
Holgren. Baumsberger.
Present.
Sykes.
Present.
Overmeyer.
Present. Open meetings law is posted on the south side of our chambers. It's on our website. It is also on the wall in the hallway outside our chambers. Proof of publication was in the News Times December 22nd. It is also on our website. Next, we need to review and approve the minutes of our December 13th Board of Commissioner meeting.
Motion to approve. Second.
Thank you, guys. Any other discussion? Roll call.
Rose.
Yes.
Sykes.
Yes.
Baumsberger.
Yes.
Holgren. Overmeyer.
Yes, and we need to adopt today's agenda. There is a couple changes. One in the education on carbon pipelines will not happen today as they cannot make it due to illness.
Oh.
And the Board of Equalization will have a change once we get there too, so.
Motion to approve, Mr. Chairman, with the changes stated.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Baumsberger.
Yes.
Sykes.
Yes.
Rose.
Yes.
Holgren. Overmeyer.
Yes, okay, we are to the officials forum. We have some officials here today. Does anybody want to talk?
If they're not gonna jump up, I will.
Morning.
Good morning. Try and make this quick. We have received, our Pacifica, our Chrysler Pacifica from Bird Camp Motors. Love it. All the drivers are fighting to drive it. Customers love it, so thank you very much for that. The next thing is that just to give you a heads up, is our meal coordinator retired on the 16th. I have hired Sue Hoffman, who was our backup. She will take over on the 3rd. So I'm cooking a couple of days here this week. And then also our care manager has resigned effective the 3rd of January. So that position has also been posted. Just an update.
On the vehicle, Lori?
Yes.
Okay, well, I've seen it. I think Daniel has seen it around. Does it get more markings? Are there more markings
Yes,
to
both
come?
the Voyager and the Pacifica are due to get their markings as soon as after hours graphics can get them on there.
Okay, all right.
Yep.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Any other questions of Lori while she's here, guys? Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Anybody else?
Good
Morning,
morning, everyone. Just a quick update on the roads. We're still hauling gravel into the county as long as we can get it out of the trucks. Last week, it didn't work, so they were parked. This week, they're back on the road. Otherwise, we're still just kind of maintaining our roads, doing our winter work and trying to keep things going forward. So that's kind of what we have.
Okay. Don't look like there's any questions. Thank you,
Awesome.
Marty.
Thank you.
Anybody else? You're shaking your head no. Gary and Paul, no. Okay, we'll move on to public forum. Anybody in the public would like to speak right now for a couple minutes, they can do so. If nobody wants to, we'll keep moving on. Okay, there's no reason for an executive session this morning. There's no general assistance cases. Review and approve payroll and vendor claims. We do have an additional claim from Johnson Sand and Gravel. It's for the amount of $2,806.28, and that will come out as all of our gravel aggregate has been coming out of the ARPA. That will come out of that fund. I think there was no other additionals, was there, Kelly? Anybody have any questions? You see, the money for the motor grader came out. Of inheritance, we paid for that machine that's been out and about for, we had it a month now,
Pretty close,
pretty
yes.
close to it.
There was a few questions, that I had on a few invoices, but we got those taken care of prior to the meeting. So I would move to approve the payroll and vendor claims with the additional claims stated.
Thank you,
Second.
thank you. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Gross,
Yes.
Mossberg,
Yes.
Sykes,
Yes.
Morgan, Obermeyer.
Yes. Okay, no funding transfers needed. Next up is discuss and act on juvenile diversion grants for 2023. This is the one that Tristan had touched on at our last meeting. He happened to be coming to the shop, Daniel happened to be in, he was gonna be gone this week on a vacation to a much warmer climate than we're sitting in right now. And so it was just the basic, what we always do every year in the get it filled out to have his wages for the next, budget year. So he had everything done. We did receive the other money, and I believe somebody is actually starting through conversation with the county attorney at first of the year,
I believe
roughly
so.
after the first of the
Yep.
year.
I believe that is correct.
Okay, so things are working well up there, so we just need to get approved signature on this grant.
Need a motion to that,
Please,
so moved, to allow the chairman to sign it.
thank you,
Second?
thank you. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Sykes,
Yes.
Gross,
Yes.
Mossberg,
Yes.
Morgan, Obermeyer.
Yes. Okay, as we stated before, the education on carbon pipelines, there was nobody here today to talk about that, so that will be off. And then the public hearing won't happen until 9 o'clock for the blended distilling LLC. So we can go down to discuss an act on new corporate manager liquor license applications for the Henderson Fuel Stop. And anytime there is a switch on the liquor license, the name, then we have to go through the steps of approving it on our end, and then it goes to the liquor commission. And the city of Henderson hasn't quite reached out to the interstate yet, have they,
Just a
Bill?
little short.
Just a little bit.
And make a motion to approve.
Thank you,
Second.
thank you. Any other discussion on this? Roll call, please, then.
Mossberg,
Yes.
Sykes,
Yes.
Gross,
Yes.
Morgan, Obermeyer.
Yes. Okay, discuss an act on method to validate local contributions for Nebraska Department of Roads reimbursement request. And Lori, you know all about this, I hope, because I know nothing.
Yes. This has to do with the way the NDOT requires us to submit documentation supporting our reimbursement request. Started back at the first of our fiscal year. And they've been trying to work out things as to what is acceptable and what is not. And there was an issue with those entities that still had their funds coming out of the general funds, which is our case. And they have told me what they would like to see. They would like to see something that lists the individual funds that are considered local funds. Local funds are the funds that come from Title 20 riders through HHS. Those are considered local funds. The money that we get from the city of York is considered local funds. And then they want to show what the county provides. And we've been arguing with them, the county provides everything else because it's out of general funds, but that's not good enough for the feds, they say. So anyways, they've asked us to come up with a system, and I'm proposing that each month I will eat it, or I don't know if you want it brought to the board, or if you just want the board to agree to have you sign off on it. It is, I have to figure out all the month's bills first, and income and outgoing, and then whatever is left as to owing, which the county's paid all those bills already, we would then show as a local contribution from the county. And there is a page on the reimbursement form that I show all of that, and so my proposal is that I print that page off each month and bring it to the county board chair and have him sign off on it, and then they would accept that and then give us the reimbursement. So we are needing to come up with, so anyways, this is, I'll give this to you, as to what it looks like. This first sheet, I'm sorry, I should have printed this off for everybody. This first sheet is the sheet that goes into NDOT. It lists all the totals. This is a detailed sheet of the total where it shows local matching funds. And then what I did is I take a picture of that, put it into a Word document, slap a little signature line on there, have somebody sign it, then I send it in, and then they reimburse us.
So they're not asking us to come up with another fund or anything in a different way
They
of
preferred
tracking?
that, but many of the transit, that were run through a county did not want to do that.
Okay,
And so they had to come up with an alternative, and this is the alternative, so.
so is this on, this would be revenue-based and expenditure-based? Do they need to see two separate signatures? Because you're talking about,
The revenue that comes in, I can get print off from, the assessor's office to
Okay.
show the income. I can show that bills have been paid
Okay.
from the clerk's office, but they want to see that local match, which is
And-
technically the bills that have been paid, but that's not good enough for them.
and this has been run back to them and it's
Yes.
acceptable to them?
Yes,
Okay. So this is just a matter of filling out some paperwork of the expenditures?
yes.
Okay, a little bit of
And-
paperwork.
So my proposal is if the board would approve the chairman to just sign it each month, or if
I
you
don't know
need
that
it
we would have to
coming
do
in
that.
each-
Because we've already approved the expenditures,
Mhm.
you know, this board's already approved everything that
Right.
you've expended, so I don't think we'd have to do that. We'd just have to have you get it, if they need a signature on it, then
Yeah.
I would think whoever's sitting as chair should be able to
Right.
sign it, because it's already
Right.
been approved as being paid.
Right,
You know, by
exactly.
Right.
us, so.
Yeah, that would be much easier,
I
just
would
to
think
give
that-
it to you each month and have you sign it, that would be great.
I would think that somewhere in there you wanna have somebody double check, whether it be in your staff or whatever, make sure we double check the numbers to make sure
Mhm.
they're right. But I think that's probably gonna be acceptable.
So I have for the first fiscal year ready.
Okay, so it's done monthly?
It is done monthly.
Okay,
Mhm.
Alright.
And it's taken them this long, so I will have July through November's ready to
Okay.
go, except that they will only let me submit one at a time, and when that's approved, then I could submit the next one. So,
They
we're
work
gonna
for
be,
the post office, do they?
pardon, no, this is another federal bureaucracy.
Yeah.
does anybody see it any differently than that? We've already, Gary, I'm gonna ask a little bit of you too. I mean, with us already approving all the vendor claims, this is just signing that this is what they were. You know, so I wouldn't see there'd be any problems
That's
with
not an issue.
Okay. That, everybody good with it then?
Do you want any action here, just authorizing a signature, or?
We could have action on, to validate, that way she has it in the minutes.
Yes, that would be great.
If they
'cause
want
I
a
can
copy
then
of
send
that
them the
too.
minutes, because they'll want that showing
Sure.
it was approved by the board.
Right,
So I would think that
So-
as long as we approve the director's, plan of action,
Right.
we should be okay, you know, in that course.
yep, so,
And if you wanna add, Daniel, that
no,
have the chairman sign it on a monthly basis, that'd probably be fine too.
okay, I don't know that we need it, but we can add it, throw it in there, and so, I would make a motion that we approve the, transit director's, plan for validating total contributions and authorize the chairman to, provide a signature when those, totals are put together on a monthly basis.
Thank you,
Second.
thank you. Any other discussion? Roll call then?
Gross,
Yes.
Sykes,
Yes.
Osborne,
Yes.
Over, Obermeyer.
Yes, and that should satisfy him for now,
Yes, and
right?
we should be getting a number of checks real quick.
Okay,
Thank you.
all right. Okay, next up, I believe Daniel, you'll probably talk about this, discuss and act on, .gov migration. That was obviously for our emails, so go ahead.
Yeah, so, the IT committee has been meeting on a number of different things, and one of them is, the, desire to move the county. Currently, we have some, county emails that are on a .net, domain. Some of them are on a .com domain. There's a push from the Secretary of State to move all government emails to a .gov domain. And so there's a bit of a process to do that. It shouldn't be too involved, but we've been talking about whether or not York County should start that process in moving our emails. So basically what it would be right now, most of our emails are yorkcountynE.com, and it would just change to yorkcountynE.gov. And so Leela and Josh are both here from the tech committee. Leela, you have some numbers, I believe, for what we're proposing is currently the sheriff's department and the communications is on a virtual email server. Do that because, and I don't know that I'm gonna get this compliance name, CGIS. Due to the nature of their business, they have to be CGIS compliant with their emails and where those emails are stored, etc. So if we all move to the same domain, we would need to be on the same server, basically. So currently, we have an in-house server for all the .com stuff, and so what we would be proposing is moving everyone to a virtual server. Now there is an access charge for that, and so that's what those numbers are. Do you have those
I
off the
do.
top of your head?
Yeah, we were just.
Leela, if we'll have you come up,
Yep.
please. Thank you.
Yeah, Josh, he's my PIC. It would be $48.58 per user per year. So that's per employee. For this to go virtual, have exchange licenses.
And is that, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say that was a price in flux with just naturally everything's going up,
Yeah.
so it did go up. He said anywhere from 9 to 15% this year.
Correct.
And that is governmental pricing. There is no tiered price for that. He just confirmed that for us.
Okay.
But speaking to the .gov, since we're already on the exchange, we're using it, it's CGIS compliant. It's just a change of a domain name for Josh and I. So if this was something the board wanted to go towards, this would be phase 0 essentially. And then we would phase it out. Maybe next phase would be getting the department heads up and going, and then the rest of the employees after that. Because it is gonna take time to pull everybody's contacts from their computer, upload it into this virtual server, and get everything worked out essentially.
The 48, that, so there's a couple different tiers or levels, I guess, of access in the 360. So this would be for the email only,
That
correct?
would be just for email. If you wanted to access it through Outlook, you would have to ensure that you have the latest Outlook version. And that would mean you'd have to purchase a license or if you had to. And that license is $126.96, but that gives you 5 uses out of that. I would take that times 15% though, because I don't have that inflation in there. That's only if it's needed.
Right.
If you have the latest version of Microsoft on your computer, then you don't have to purchase that license. And that's only if you want to access it through Outlook. You can access your email through Internet Explorer or Microsoft Edge with the license. exchange license.
So there might be some offices that would want that, but a majority of the licenses would be the 48.
Yes, I would say it'd be appropriate, maybe department heads, if they wanted to access theirs through Outlook. For me, example, I have to have Outlook in order to do some CGIS requirement stuff. I have to have that, Josh has to have it.
Sure.
Maybe department heads would want it through Outlook, but the rest of the employees can access it online.
Do you know, and if not, that's fine, but, the push to move to .gov, more secure, it's running through, I guess, can you elaborate on it's more secure a little bit?
So one of the things that they went through and that they talked about, from the tech side is that they, we're going through and it's run through dual firewalls, it's run through dual antivirus. It's run through a lot more security, when it's actually coming through versus having a standalone server. And one of the things that, we're being told by, IT is that, the Exchange server is going away anyways. So Microsoft is essentially pushing everyone towards this direction, and it's going to happen, in the future regardless. Eventually, standalone servers will be taken out, and part of it comes down to security. So, it's one of the reasons why the Secretary of State is pushing a lot of the county agencies to go to, the new type of server, is the fact that it's secure. It meets all of the criteria that we have to have from a law enforcement perspective. Plus, when we go to .gov, there's a lot of federal agencies that are asking for a .gov email address for us to be able to get signed up to to be able to access certain information. They want a .gov email. So because that's the direction that everybody is going.
And naturally, we would want to, so Josh and I, our domain license is coming up to expire in January. We're gonna wanna continue to purchase the YorkCountyNE.net domain for the next 5 to 10 years, because obviously we don't wanna shut that off in January and somebody then purchases that domain. And then that's where phishing kind of comes into play. So cybersecurity wise, we'll want to continue to purchase that. It's $17 a year, which is not.
And one of the things that was discussed was that, so our emails will be seamless, essentially. Our emails will be forwarded then to our .gov accounts, and we would just need to go through and let people know, hey, we've made this switch. And I could foresee us doing the exact same thing if some of the other agencies, some of the other department heads want to move over to the .gov email accounts. Essentially, you just keep your .com active, everything gets forwarded to the .gov account for a period of time, whatever that period of time we pick is. And then we just put a disclaimer on the bottom of our email that says, hey, we've switched over to .gov, please update your address book. And then we can start checking to see whether people, the important emails that we're getting in would not be missed through this period of time. And then it gives us kind of a seamless transition over a period of time, and that's what we've discussed in the technology committee.
Right. Okay. And I guess with that, maybe we'll hold off on bringing that up. In rolling out, you said like a phase 0, so like your team and the sheriff's department could get rolled over, and then we could have more like a phase 1. You mentioned department heads, maybe commissioners, kind of a slow rollout to make sure that this isn't just a boom and it's a headache for everybody.
Right.
That we can, and then as phase 1, a few more learning bumps and whatnot, then we can go to the more wider employees, go to the out to the broader offices outside of the courthouse, etc. So I think that would work good, along with making changes to the email. It was also mentioned, we kind of discussed in the tech committee that it would be the tech committee's desire, and I guess I would recommend that the board also take that stance, that so currently not every county employee has a personal email. And so, I would recommend that, for HR, for, other items, it would be, I think, in the county's best interest to have each employee have their own, personal email. And then, so like Leela's group has a group email address that can be, an email can be sent to that group and everybody receives it, even though they have their own, personal email that they're logging in and checking. Am I stating that correctly?
Yep, yeah, so everybody has their own email, and then we have a group one that's called dispatch. And whoever, you can send it to that, it shoots off to everybody. Josh has them for his groups as well, and the county could make one entire email for the entire county body, which would be easy for clerk, for HR to be able to send county-wide messages. But I echo your sentiment on every employee, because they should be able to reach their boss, reach the commissioners, reach HR in a professional capacity without having to use their personal email if they wanted something written and time-stamped.
Right. And so like the treasurer's office, the assessor's office could have a treasures@yorkcounty.ne or yorkcountyne.gov.
Yes.
And, so any outside people that wanted to just email to the treasurer with a general question,
Right,
everybody would receive it, and then whoever sees it first can
can handle it.
reply and take care of that, that email.
One of the real convenient things as well, Daniel, is so if, one of the concerns that I hear people say is okay, what if we have an employee leave? So
Sure.
if somebody leaves and they're filling a role, what do we do then at that point for their emails? Well, there's a way in Exchange that you can go through and you can actually have those emails forwarded. So if it's a specific role, you can have those emails forwarded back over to another employee, which makes it extremely seamless, where that person just starts receiving the emails for whether it's, whatever role you pick. Then at that point, they just continue to get those emails and they can determine what they need to do with those.
Right. Okay. And along with this, we've talked a lot about the virtual server. If we were to move forward with the .gov, it is possible to continue to use our server, but not in its current capacity, correct? It would need, one location would have to be moved, and it would have to go through a security update, or at least checking
Correct.
out what security it has, et cetera.
And to compare apples to apples, we would have to have redundant servers is what we would have to have. So we'd have to have a redundant server that would store all of our information. So you're talking about building 2 servers. You're talking about having dual firewall, dual antivirus, all of that stuff that goes through, and it adds up very, very quickly to the point where you're actually, it's not gonna be cost effective to do it at some point.
Sure, yep. So, I'm talking a lot about cost. We're in the middle of a budget year, and this, we didn't budget for $48 per person. But if, you already have,
Right,
for like the sheriff's department, the, communications, because this isn't a change for where your, emails are being housed. And so if we do this in a slow rollout, we probably wouldn't have everybody up on, the virtual by, our budget year, or at least it'd be close to that budget year. Would you agree with that, that then this is something that we could budget, like if we vote today to move forward, we're not gonna put a huge strain on the budget, because first phase 0 is already budgeted for.
right,
And so then,
and there's no cost for us to
Right.
move to .gov.
Mhm.
Yeah, so the idea would be Q1, we would move over.
Yep.
And phase out .net, and then maybe commissioners, department heads could be that phase 2 starting Q2,
right,
which would be a minimal cost.
Yep.
And then the rest of the embodied employees could be done after the next fiscal year, and it'd be budgeted for that.
right.
Are you close?
Questions?
No, because we do have a public hearing at 9 o'clock,
enough.
so we're not gonna be able to get to,
Okay.
because I do have a couple.
Sure.
We'll
Very good.
so you have to make the public hearing, if that's all right with everybody for now.
Yep.
Hang tight, if you would, please.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, it is 9 o'clock and we have a public hearing on an application for Blended Distilling LLC, a Class Z liquor license, and that was publicized in the News Times December 16th, it looks like. So at this time, anybody from the public would like to come up and comment on this, they sure can. Once again, it's for application for Blended Distilling LLC, a Class Z liquor license.
Did you say D as in David or Z as in?
Oh, I'm sorry, Class Z.
Z is-
Z, did I say D?
No,
Z,
you said Z.
sorry. Morning, Willard.
Morning. Willard Peterson, 514 Road 13, address York. I'm from Bradshaw though. Anyway, this is kind of a general comment. It's not either for or against, but me personally, I've never seen the point of most quick stops or whatever sell alcohol. And the thing that I have problems processing for myself is the fact that this is a place where people go in their car, and then majority of them that stop at quick stops are going on down the road a long ways. And to say that it's okay for them to buy alcohol and haul that down the road, and if something happens and it's ends up being an open container, we know what happens when law enforcement stops you. And it's just never made much sense to me, for especially things like quick stops, where I'm sure a vast majority of the public is just stopping there and then traveling on down the road. If they're stopping there and gonna haul it right home, I don't know if there's any difference, but maybe you could justify that. But it's just something that's always made me think of, why is it okay to sell alcohol to people that are gonna go driving 100 miles or 200 miles down the road, and they're not gonna open that?
Anybody else from the public would like to speak at this time? Typically, we keep it open for 5 minutes, I guess. It's kind of been our pattern in the past, so. The commissioners did receive 40-some page application. This is actually a distillery. It's not a quick shop, it's a distillery that a local resident wants to do. So, but in the application, they also have that they will have a tasting room, and we'll have some retail sales, but most all of it will be sold through a vendor or through a distributor, I believe was the exact word that it used. I don't know if anybody took the time to go through all 45 pages and read through that or not, but one more minute. Could have kept talking about the exciting subject of emails, huh?
I know you enjoy it.
I do.
We're coming back to the table soon.
Yeah, I know.
He's anticipating.
Yes, I am. Okay, it is 9:05 by my watch, so we will, at this time, close the public hearing. And next on the agenda is discuss an act on liquor license for Blended Distilling LLC for a Class Z retail liquor license. Yes, sir.
I have a question, the sheriff, you see any problem with that?
No, not really. I mean, as long as it's managed, by the employees, they follow the license requirements. Abide by the law, I don't see an issue with them, so.
My understanding of the difference between a distillery and the many, people that are brewing beer, probably throughout our county and many counties, is that this is more so regulated by the federal government because it's hard liquor. And they've had to go through an extensive process to do everything right. They built a facility and, it's different. We don't have one like this. We see microbrews all over the place, but this is distillery. I know there's some other counties around that have them, that have got this. I think with it being regulated, like Sheriff says, like they follow the law, but they'll be regulated by the federal, I believe also, so it's pretty hard.
Aren't microbreweries regulated as to how much they can produce?
I can't answer that.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I know there's a difference if you're doing the beer compared to this.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a whole different game, and obviously we have to approve it, and then it goes on, from us. And, I guess, I don't think he is here today to give us the story, at least I don't see anybody different here today to give us a story, but in the deal, it looked like he was ex-military. He learned how to do this in the military by, like an ethanol type process. Yeah, so, and wants to make a buck or two out of it now, so. Any other comments, Daniel?
The only question I have, in the application, there's a portion that says, if there's a tasting room and if you charge, then it cannot be part of the distilled spirits plant and must be shown on the diagram. I don't know, and I assume that he's done his research and has designed his location according to what he's required to do. So, that would be the only question I would have, is to make sure that he's designed it and done it. I mean, I don't know that we care, so much, but I just had noticed that, and you had mentioned, that he does intend to have a tasting room and retail area. But like you said, he's regulated fairly heavily and has hopefully gone through those processes.
I'm guessing he'll be inspected.
Right.
I know that there's a facility in St. Paul, Nebraska, and you do not leave on site to go to the tasting room.
Okay,
So,
yep.
you stay on site, so it's not,
Yep.
he'll be inspected.
Right, exactly.
Any other questions before? Anything? And this is just a simple motion, isn't it? Well, I'd move to approve the liquor license for Blended Distilling LLC for a Class Z retail liquor license.
Second.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Overmeyer,
Yes.
Sykes,
Yes.
Bonsberger,
Yes.
Rhodes,
Yes.
and
Okay.
Bolton.
And he's not here.
And he's not
He's
here.
still not here. Okay, that takes care of that. You guys wanna come back up?
Yep, thank you.
We got 20 minutes to board equalization.
I don't think it's gonna last that
Suppose
long.
we're gonna string this out that much longer? Okay,
What questions?
the budget, obviously, you know, rough numbers, $50.
Yep.
Little over 100 employees, so, and we're talking about that on an annual basis.
Yep, so it'd be, 5,900
Right,
for the whole body
So-
of employees to have that online email services.
and I assume we'd wanna, like we do with all our other licensing and agreements, run it through data. And, more than likely, there is room, even though, you know, we didn't budget it, there would be room, because part of that's already
Yes,
there.
yeah, Josh and I are already spending.
Okay, so our current server that we have, that's located behind the assessor's office, there are certain things that we're signed up for, ARPA money. Certain things that are hard to change, I'm not saying impossible to change, hard to change. Can those remain on there and operate that without integrating into this, you said CGIS, obviously, that's
CGIS
what we.
compliant, yeah. It's
So
CGIS
we
compliant
could,
server.
we could continue to operate that for its,
Right.
until we can get stuff moved or
Correct,
changed.
yes.
And you're gonna wanna retain that server anyways, because you have to meet certain, retention schedules with the state.
Okay,
So you're gonna wanna retain some of the information, like your emails and stuff on there for a number of years
Okay.
anyways.
And that retention period won't start until the day that server is shut off. So, we can go through and we can probably maintain this for, you know, for at least a period of time, like we said, whatever this board, foresees. You could make it 6 months, you could make it up to a year where you'd go through and you let the transition. Eventually is going to have to happen, because when Microsoft just stops releasing a product, then at that point it's done. And so, you can continue to function on old products, but then they stop offering the patches, the security, and all of that for the server itself. And email servers are huge as far as being attacked by nefarious actors who are trying to go through and trying to send out emails, spam emails and different things like that. And we've had that, you know, instances of phishing and different things like that, you know, we've experienced and taken steps to try to stop from a county level. And that's what the technology board is concerned with. So that's why we're trying to phase this server out and go through and to move to a server that would be considered secure and compliant.
has there been, when you talked about being attacked, do we monitor the numbers there, to know that there has been 20, 30, 40, hundreds of thousands, whatever? Do we know that number?
We do
And it's,
like to know that number in a
It's huge.
public meeting. Yes,
okay,
I would say it's a large number.
okay. It gives credit to what we're trying to do too, you know, so well over 100,000.
Not 100,000, but 700 in the last quarter.
Okay. Okay, so, yeah, I think it's a good plan, we just have to make sure that, cause I know our ACHs have got emails attached to them from other government entities. I'm guessing Harb gets stuff from the state, from the feds that are linked to his email or to a county email, and we just wanna make sure we don't miss or lose anything, you know.
Then we would add that domain, your .com domain would be added as an alias to this new one. So you're not even gonna know it's gonna do all that work on the back end of just
Okay.
sending you the emails. It's just a matter of you need to update, let your contacts know you've moved to .gov. So then, you know, in a year or two time, we can remove that alias and be done with .com. But you're
And-
gonna still wanna purchase that domain for a while, so somebody out there doesn't purchase that domain and use it nefariously.
And
Right.
honestly, for the cost of the domain, I don't think it's all that expensive.
No.
We probably want to own the .com and the .net
Wow.
domains themselves. It's relatively, I wanna say it's less than $100 a year to own the domain itself.
She said $17.
$17, yeah, so there's no reason why
Right.
we shouldn't own those, because if somebody actually gets a hold of one of those, then you start to have people that are gonna start spoofing the emails and different things along those lines.
Did you have something else, Tim?
Two things, to your point of the emails that are tied to something. I think you have both a .net and a .com, that are active.
Correct.
And so we can keep those until we're comfortable of, letting them go, and emails can still come in, et cetera.
Right.
Now my second question is completely gone.
I'll get back to you.
Circle back.
But it should be a seamless transition,
Okay.
like Leila was saying. The email should just go directly into your email box, because everything's gonna get forwarded into your new .gov. And
Okay.
then that way you wouldn't miss anything. You would still be able to access the things that you need to access. And then it's just taking that period of time to go through and to let everyone know, and the things that you've signed up for, whether it be, billing or different things along those lines, whatever you know, can imagine that we get through email. Just get those updated and move forward.
Okay. Any other questions?
I have to ask a question.
Sure.
When Secretary of State brought the .gov to me about a year ago, they said it was free. So is that $48.50? What is that?
That is, instead of
For-
having a physical server
Okay,
on
so that's
site,
for the
we're the
mutual-
cloud server.
Okay,
Yeah,
because I was like,
yes,
if they said
.gov
it
is
was,
free,
okay, good.
which is why Josh and I want to get on that, because we're already on exchange licenses. It would take 20 minutes for Tom to change our domain names and then create aliases for us, and we're good to go.
Well, I just wanted to make sure you knew that
Yeah.
when they brought it to me, it was free, so.
Right.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Free to you if you were currently using your physical server, but we're wanting to move
Move
to
it to a different one.
online
Okay,
cloud service.
That's for that CJIS.
okay.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
CJIS
for
CJIS
compliance.
compliance, yes.
Security.
Yeah.
I
So
see.
if we were to use our existing server, which will get phased out at some point,
Correct.
then at this point, and which is not currently CJIS compliant for us. So we can't go through and we wouldn't be able to use it.
Which is
So-
why
I just
we
wanted to
moved.
make sure
Yeah.
if we could go somewhere where it's free to the whole
Correct.
courthouse.
Yeah, the domain is free.
That was actually gonna be my next question, was the .gov, the York County NE.gov domain, do we have that? We are entitled to it or whatever.
Yes, and
okay.
the state is giving that to you.
Perfect.
Yep, it's already purchased.
Okay.
Yep.
Yes.
That, I was ready to move forward if
Are ya?
everybody else is ready.
Bill, Jack?
So, based on all of our conversation, I really feel it's the best way forward. It'll be the most secure for us. I think that in today's world, being a government entity, I think we should have .gov emails. So it would be my, I guess I would make a motion that we start with phase 0 and transition the communications in the sheriff's department to a .gov email, and then move with the intention that this is a terrible long motion.
No, she's fine.
I was gonna say,
While you're adding, can you add corrections into that too, please?
Yep. Okay, sheriff's department and corrections is phase 0. With the intention then a broader rollout would follow. I would include in that motion that it would be the board's intention that each county employee would have a personal email.
So all current and new employees. Is that it?
That's it.
I'm sure she'll ask for clarification
yeah.
in the future. Is there a second?
Sure.
Jack's on board.
Thanks, Jack, appreciate you.
Hey, listen, I just got an Echo for Christmas and I'm still hooked up.
Okay. Any other discussion? Willard, what you got? Normally
Well-
during this period, there wouldn't be this, but what you got?
Yeah.
Christmas spirit.
Well, I don't know how many people are familiar with the movie 2001: A Space Odyssey, make sure whatever you do does not have the name Hal on it.
The only thing that I think probably should be added to your motion would be that this would be a data processing expenditure.
Sure,
Because
yep,
this is new and
Yep.
unbudgeted, and then as we bring forward the budget next year, we make sure that it is data
Yep.
processing. You're good with that? Okay. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Rhodes,
yes.
Sykes,
Yes.
Swansburg,
Yes.
Bolton, Overmar.
Yes. Okay, thank you, guys. Next item up is discuss and act on determining if elected officials meet all requirements and qualifications to take office prior to swearing in. Swearing in is the 5th at 8:30 in the morning. And this is something that we brought about a couple years ago when we had a public defender that was elected that could not hold office. And we found that it was the right thing to do to list all. And you should have that list in front of you in your packet. And to my knowledge, they all are qualified and will be able to hold office. So this will just take a simple motion and second.
It's a resolution.
There we go. Has to be resolution, in case you were gonna speak.
I thought you already did that.
My name's on here, so I wasn't gonna make the resolution, but I could. I'll make a motion to adopt a resolution to state that those, positions, that the elected officials for 2023 to 2027, meet the, qualifications to take office.
Second.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Rhodes,
Yes.
Swansburg,
Yes.
Sykes,
Yes.
Bolton, Overmar.
Yes. Okay. That kind of brings us to the end of this one, other than committee reports. Who wants to start? We got 5 minutes. Bill?
A whole lot to report, Mr. Chairman. Did attend the NACO conference out in Kearney, left a little bit early. But, there were about 100 people that canceled out from western Nebraska because of the weather. But other than that, I think the conference probably went all right. No problem. I do have one other thing, one request, and I think I mentioned it to you, Randy. I got a call from Krista Yoakum, who is a member of the Lancaster County Board, who serves on the Region 5 board, which I've been a part of the last 12 years. CJ Johnson is not employed anymore in the Region 5 systems, and they put out for applications to take his position. There were 74 applicants. They narrowed it down to 4, and they've been doing some interviews, and they think they have a hot prospect at this time and would like to hire somebody. The problem is we normally don't meet till February. They're gonna call a special meeting on the 9th of January. And there's 16 members. It's a 16 county board. There's 1 representative, 1 commissioner or supervisor from each county. And they definitely would like to have at least a quorum. We've had problems over the last couple of years getting a quorum sometimes, but we do need the numbers. And she said if we could, we don't have the appointments made yet. Usually do that like in February, Randy, or the end of January. But we need to have a representative there.
What time's the meeting, Bill?
The meeting's at 9:30, and it's over there on 40th and Old Cheney. There's Region 5 right behind, there's a Hy-Vee store. It's right behind the Hy-Vee store. It's Region 5. I'd be glad to go along with somebody if they wanted to go down there and at least introduce somebody introduce this individual to the group, whether they would be the ones that would be the designated, committee member or not. But just to, you know, to introduce that person to the board. And then I would leave because, I'm sure there'll be an executive session to do some discussion before they open it up and come out of closed session and then vote. So, 9:30 on the 9th of January, we could have one representative from this board.
Do you receive an email, Bill, from them?
No,
Just a phone call?
just a phone call because Krista is on the executive committee.
Okay. Anything else?
Oh, that's all I have.
That's it, huh?
Yes.
Jack?
Well, I also went to the, NACO convention. I thought it was very, disorganized in the meeting places because you were going from one building to another. Sometimes it was quite confusing to where you were supposed to be going and to what meeting you were going to attend. I think in the past, they've done a lot better job of coordinating those things. That's
Okay.
just a comment from me. And it also was very icy and slippery and was not pleasant walking 6 blocks against the wind, going from one place to another to check in to one another. And we did go to Berglund's dinner. That's for Kurt, by the way.
He can hang in his new office.
One of the drawings.
Way to go.
Drawing.
Anything else, Jack?
No, that's it.
Daniel?
Oh, by the way,
Oh, wait.
excuse me, I'm sorry. We will have a Four Corners board meeting on the 29th. And I think they changed it to possibly a Zoom meeting if we don't have a full quorum show up. But we gotta do some stuff on the budget.
Okay.
That's it.
I was also at the NACO conference, attended a few discussions, one on a comp plan and zoning. It was a panel of 3 gentlemen talking about comp plans and zoning. It was a very good discussion, a lot of information that was good to think about as we look at zoning in our county and possibly updating the comp plan here in the next year or so. There was a discussion on broadband, and we've had some discussion here. We're part of a study for broadband within our county. And so there was a case study or an example that Gage County has done with a public-private partnership to extend broadband coverage within their county. And so they had a pretty good example. Cost obviously is more than anybody wants it to be, but as we kind of continue to look towards the future, if we want to push forward with broadband, I think that reaching out to Gage County and talking to them about what they did and how they came up with their partnership would be a good resource to talk to. Then Tech Committee, we talked about the .gov. We are looking to do a review of our IT providers. So we'll be putting together a list of what we would like from an IT CIO standpoint. So then in the new year, we'll be getting that out so that people can provide or come to us and show us what they could provide to York County. And along with that, hopefully in 2023, we can revamp our website. And that is pretty much what I have to share today.
Thank you. Kelly, do you have anything?
I don't have anything.
And what I'll say is, because usually I have a long list, everything seems to be running okay. The new boiler was up and running last week when it got so cold, when both of them are down there chugging away. And so we're doing okay. I know that there was some comments last week about the fact that our courthouse was open and the city was closed and different things like that. And, I was on the phone that morning, with Harvey as he was out on the road and I was out on the road, and that was about 5:30 in the morning. And called the call center and, so it isn't a decision that's made lightly. We're out and about to make sure that it's passable. We do still live in Nebraska, and it still gets cold in Nebraska, and it gets windy in Nebraska. There wasn't a lot of snow to deal with, so we left it open. And, I know some counties closed and some were open, so, there we go. So anyhow, all I have is, like I say, things seem to be going okay. At this time, I do not want to close the meeting of the Board of Commissioners. I just want to recess from the meeting of Board of Commissioners. And I want to convene as a Board of Equalization. So I will ask for a roll call, please.
Gross,
Present.
Holgren, Baumsberger,
Present.
Sykes,
Present.
Obermeyer.
Present. Open meetings law is posted on the south side of our chambers. It is on the wall outside of our chambers in the hallway and is also on the website. Proof of publication for this meeting was December 22nd in the News Times and also on our website. Next, we need to review and approve the minutes of our November 1st Board of Equalization meeting.
Move to approve, Mr. Chairman.
Is that right?
I was gonna say, I don't think that's
That don't
right.
sound right.
It's whenever the last meeting was.
It's 13th.
December 13th, sorry.
So moved.
As I said, it didn't sound right.
Oh, yeah.
Second? Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Got that?
Yep.
Okay, roll call.
Baumsberger,
Yes.
Rhodes,
Yes.
Sykes,
Yes.
Holgren, Obermeyer.
Yes, okay, adopt today's agenda. And the only change would be is Roward, Kent Roward had asked for the striking the parcel to be moved to the next meeting, the first meeting of January. So I would ask for a postponement on that,
You want that now?
please.
So moved.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, that's what will be the change. No, we need to adopt today's agenda. I'm sorry.
I'll move to adopt today's agenda.
Thanks, Daniel.
Second.
Thanks for watching out for me. Roll call, please.
Rhodes,
Yes.
Sykes,
Yes.
Baumsberger,
Yes.
Holgren, Obermeyer.
Yes. Now, I'd ask for postponement.
I would make a motion to postpone, striking parcel, 930166892, from the tax rolls till the next commissioners meeting.
Second.
Thank you, guys. Any other discussion regarding that? I know you showed up again.
No, that's
Did
okay.
you
I
know
just showed up because I had seen it was on the agenda and I freaked out. I was told it was postponed, but I wanted to make sure if it wasn't, someone was here.
Okay,
Thanks.
no problem. Roll call, please.
Rhodes,
Yes.
Baumsberger,
Yes.
Sykes,
Yes.
Holgren, Obermeyer.
Yes. Okay, so next up is discuss and act on tax roll corrections. The current assessor is on vacation this week. The next assessor is en route from Colorado. There we go. So we have tax roll correction number 57, Thelma Rares, trustee billed out instead of not been. Tax roll correction 58 is McCool Junction School billed out SB exempt. And tax roll correction 59 is CA bond errors, that's 6 parcels. Tax roll correction number 60 is PP bond errors, that's 153 parcels. And tax roll correction 61 is RE bond errors, that's 1,078 parcels. The levy was set right by the Board of Commissioners. Unfortunately, there was an error when it was transpired and the certificates was sent out to everybody. So this should correct everything. The assessor is not here. The treasurer is here. We had asked that they not pay at those parcels until we did this correction, and now we'll be able, that way we wouldn't have to refund them. And now we'll be able to get the proper ones, which I believe are ready
They're ready to go.
to go as soon as we approve it. So There we go. And we should be able to take this, all of them, just like we do.
Motion to approve the tax roll corrections as presented.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Bobsberger.
Yes.
Brooks.
Yes.
Sykes.
Yes.
Holden. Omenauer.
Yes. Okay, next up is discuss and act on approving an annual motor vehicle exemption for a nonprofit organization. And you should add that application in front of you.
I think there's a number of them
Applications.
there, yeah.
And they were all approved by the treasurer.
They're all the same ones.
Move to approve, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Bill.
Second.
Thank you, Jack. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Bobsberger.
Yes.
Sykes.
Yes.
Brooks.
Yes.
Holden. Omenauer.
Yes. Okay, that brings us to the end of this, and we will adjourn as a board of equalization, and we will come back as a board of commissioners. And at this point in time, do you have something else?
No.
Okay. At this point in time, we have two commissioners that are having their last meeting. And one of them skipped out on us. He did it on purpose. I'm convinced of that. And if he's listening, he knows now that we know too. The second one is Mr. Baumsberger. After serving his county for 12 years, I know he goes into next year by just a couple days, but won't be making any decisions, so we'll recognize it as 12 years. I thought yesterday I would try to sit down and write something up, but I just do a lot better just winging it, so we'll see how it goes. Bill was here when I came on board, and Bill was the chair at the time. And as things usually go with me, I usually watch and try to learn, and I did learn a lot from Bill about how county government actually has worked. I know that there'll be statements throughout the public that these gentlemen that I serve with up here do it for the money, and anybody that has received this check knows the money don't cut it. There's a lot more to it, and Bill, we truly appreciate the 12 years that you gave our county, and we hope you and Fran have a lot of fun, doing what you're going to do next. So in that being said, I did take the liberty to get a couple things for you. And this, my friend, is a key to the county. This will get you absolutely nothing. You can take it wherever you want, and I'm pretty sure nobody's gonna give you a darn thing for it, but that was cut out by our master mechanic downstairs on a lathe, and it's to signify your years of service, and then we got you a little something else to thank you for your years of service. We didn't figure a plaque was gonna be worth it, at least this, you can open it up. That's something you can use hopefully every day going forward, and once again, just appreciate everything you do.
Thanks a lot, Randy. It's been a privilege to serve York County the last 12 years, especially District 3. I'm gonna miss a lot of people. I've served with quite a few different board members. I remember coming on, yet it was kind of a nightmare. I did attend all the meetings about a year before I came on board and learned a lot. I had the privilege of working on about 10 or 11 budgets with several different people. It's just been a real experience to work with county government. I had some experience prior to that. I was city clerk treasurer for the city of Henderson for 26 years. But there's a big difference between city government and county government. And it's definitely been a privilege working with all you people. You're great. I want to visit with some employees yet before I leave. But I wish you the best. there's a lot of challenges coming up as far as broadband, even the budgets and different things. You know, I'll be watching in the paper and see how things are going, but thank you, everybody. I'm gonna miss it. I'm really gonna miss it, but my wife's gonna enjoy it. Well, thank you. She told me when I quit being city clerk, I quit that in 2000, and she says, if you ever go back into government again, I'll probably leave you. So I left it lay for 10 years. And then I filed for county commissioner, and she's still with me.
I did not close the meeting out, so if anybody wants to say anything at this time, they sure can. We've got a table in here, we're gonna have some refreshments afterwards, so we'd ask that you don't take off right away. And, if you don't wanna say anything now, you can sure say something, to Bill before he gets out of here. So if anybody wants to, they sure can, but we are still public, so. If I see nobody come up, we will close this meeting.
Well, I feel a little whatever, aren't you gonna show them what I got you?
I can do that, Willard. And I mentioned to Willard last meeting that, you know, to show appreciation, he could probably bring me something. So this morning, I see he brought me this nice big bear claw and a cup of coffee. I really appreciate it, Willard. I'm gonna miss you.
I'm sure you, yeah, we'll go with that.
So, thank you.
Okay, like I said, we will get some refreshments up here directly, so don't take off. We are adjourned.